What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. We're going to talk about Mistweaver Monk in Season 2 of the War Within. In the Undermine patch 11.1, there are some patch notes here we're going to get into. And I'm going to talk about some of the implications here. There are some huge changes coming, actually, for Mistweaver. Primarily aimed, I would say, at improving their single target healing and also just helping give you some flexibility in the bottom of the talent tree. So like the patch that we're in right now actually gave us some wonderful consolidation and a little bit more flexibility as well. Remember, right now they consolidated all the Jadefire talents and put them like into one bucket basically, which is Awakened Jadefire. We got access to new things like Rushing Wind Kick now, which is really good in the raid environment. We got Crackling Jade Lightning. One of the only problems here is that the bottom of our talent tree is still very rigid, I would say. There's sort of the exact number of talents that you need to take. You always have to take the exact same ones if you're doing raid versus Mythic Plus, and like that's not necessarily a problem. I enjoy flexibility if possible. And the other interesting thing is that Crackling Jade Lightning does a ton of healing in an AoE situation, but does very little healing in a single target situation. So if you're in Mythic Plus fighting a boss, there's usually 3 to 5 bosses in every dungeon. Your Jade Empowerment talent just has so much less value. They're looking to change that, and let's look into what's happening here. Yo, I really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe on the video. I gotta get some coffee. Bye. We're making several updates to Mistweaver focused on smoothing out the healing output on varying target sizes and shifting rotational damage priority to make priority to a more intuitive space. Okay. So here's what's happening. There's a new talent coming in, Emperor's Favor. Shaylin's gift healing is increased by 150% and its cast time is reduced by 100%, which means it's instant. But it now only heals a single ally. This is really interesting. So this talent is going to be right here. It's a choice node now with Legacy of Wisdom. So you can either have Legacy of Wisdom healing multiple allies for a regular amount of Shaylin's gift healing, or you can switch that out to just heal one single ally for a large amount and have it be instant, which is really cool. So again, if you want to shore up your single target healing, let's say you're not relying on Shaylin's gift to actually heal your entire group, you've got other abilities in mind for that, then you could just have this as a huge single target bomb, and you could pair it up with Life Cocoon. So you could Life Cocoon one target and then Shaylin's gift another target, and you've got two kind of like big single target healing abilities. That's a pretty cool combo there. Okay, let's go back to this. Dance with Wind has been redesigned. This is just the physical damage reduction that you get on the class tree, I believe. So don't worry about this. Jade Empowerment has been redesigned. Increases Crackling Jade Lightning's damage by 2,000% to its primary target, and it cleaves 4 additional enemies for 25% of that damage that it would have dealt effectively. So right now in the game, it does 800% damage to 5 targets. Okay. So, and then you heal based on all the damage that does. That's a lot of damage. So what they're doing is they're buffing it essentially. This is just a buff, by the way. It's now going to do 2,000% lightning damage to 1 target, and then also cleave 25% of that damage to 4 additional enemies, right? 25% of 2,000 is 500, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. So you're actually getting a like 2,000% damage. Well, it's getting 25% of the damage, but it's just, what I'm saying is the numbers here are really, really good, and especially in a single target situation, right? So Crackling Jade Lightning no longer has 0 value or very little value on boss fights when it comes to healing, because the damage that you're doing is almost entirely to the primary target, and it's an enormous amount of damage that you're doing to the primary target. It's crazy. Like my Crackling Jade Lightning right now does, where's my Crackling over here? So my Crackling Jade Lightning right now does 105,000 nature damage. That's at the 800% threshold. So imagine if it was 2,000%. I don't even know what this number would be. It'd be way higher. It'd be like 200 and some odd thousand damage that you're doing. So this is a really good change. it makes it so that in the Mythic Plus environment or in the Raid environment, you can now take Jade Empowerment and feel fine about it because you're going to do a ton of healing just by doing most of your damage to one target. If, of course, you're cleaving to other targets, that's also very, very strong. It's still going to be just as strong as it is right now in the AoE environment, but it's way better in the single target environment. So that is a massive change, massive buff there. Yu'lon's Whisper healing is going up by 100%. That's when you are channeling Mana Tea, you're going to exhale a breath. So right now, at 631 item level, my Yu'lon's Whisper does 14,000. So this is going to double, basically. So it's going to go to 28,000. Well, it is going to double, sorry. It goes to 28,000. And then you have to multiply by 5. So it takes you to about 140,000 healing. So split between 5 targets, I'm doing 140,000 healing every 0.2 seconds. And so imagine if you channel for like 2 seconds or something, or even 3 seconds, right? That's going to end up being 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's going to be times 15. So 140,000 healing times 15. That's about just 2 million. It's like 1.4 million and then 5. It's almost like 2 million healing. So I don't think this is necessarily going to make this a talent that you're going to take, but it's cool to see that it's getting some love. And maybe if it is strong enough, you know, and you take other talents that let you stack up Mana Tea quicker, like the quicker you can stack up Mana Tea, the better, right? And then you can use Mana Tea and get a big heal. It might be worth it. It's probably going to stay exactly where it is, but the Blizzard's trying, okay? Blackout kick damage is increased by 75%. This has some really, really good implications, right? Number one, Blackout kick contributes to your ancient teachings healing, right? So that means that you're just automatically going to be doing more damage and now more healing as well, because ancient teachings takes your blackout kick damage and then heals people based on that. So in this single target environment, especially, you are going to be getting a lot more damage now, and that's going to turn into healing, which is really, really cool. So right now, the way it works is like, let's say you pop Yu'lon, or sorry, Chi-Ji in the Mythic Plus environment. If you're in an AoE situation, your Chi-Ji is incredible. You press Blackout Kick, it's cleaving to other targets. Each one of those is contributing to the Ancient Teachings healing. It does a lot of healing, and it covers your entire team. It feels really, really good, okay? If you're in a single target environment, in a, let's say, a Mythic Plus dungeon like a boss fight, Chi-Ji's, the Blackout Kicks when you're in Chi-Ji, they just don't do that much. They really don't. You can feel the difference. So now they're making it so Blackout Kick does way more damage, even on a single target, which is going to contribute a lot more healing. And then they're slightly nerfing Jade Fire Awakening so that you're still getting Blackout Kick cleaving to enemies, but it only cleaves at 20% of the damage instead of 70. But remember, it's getting buffed by 75%. So this is still a net gain in the AoE situation. It's still a net gain. It's just straight up better now for single target as well. So it's the exact same situation with Crackling Jade Lightning. It now does way more damage to the primary target, which makes it viable in a single target environment, but it still also cleaves, which means it's good in AoE as well. Like, there's really no downsides here. This is all really, really good stuff, okay? Spinning Crane Kick damage up by 30%. I'm not sure that you're ever going to take Chance of Chi-Ji over Jade Empowerment. Now, we'll have to see. I tried it a bunch when I was doing Monk like a few weeks ago, but I'd have to go back and revisit it once we get to Season 2 and see what happens. But it is nice that they're giving it a little bit of love to try and keep up with the Crackling Jade Lightning, damage that's going to be coming out. Okay? We did the Jade Fire Awakening thing. Invoke Chi-Ji the Red Crane now causes 3 gusts of mist per target. It was 1, but it only activates once per Blackout Kick and Rushing Wind cast. So again, I sort of talked about this earlier, but when you're in an AoE situation, every single Blackout Kick contributes to like the Chi-Ji healing, and it does a lot. In Season 2, only one of your Blackout Kicks is going to actually contribute to the healing, but it's going to give you 3 Gust of Mist casts instead of 1. So I would say, again, I think the net change here is going to be neutral. Maybe it's slightly worse in AoE, potentially, but I actually don't think it will be. I think it's going to be basically the same in AoE. but it's going to be much better in single target because you're only getting that one blackout kick. So on a boss fight, you're hitting the boss with blackout kick. It's getting 3 gusts of mist instead of 1. So it's just going to be way better in the single target environment. And of course, blackout kick is now doing 75% more damage, which converts more of its healing into Ancient Teachings healing on top of the Red Crane kicking up gusts of mist on his own. So this is a huge bonus once again. We'll have to wait and see if the AoE healing is slightly less. I don't think it will be, but you are guaranteed to get much more single target healing out of this because you're getting those 3 gusts instead of 1. Very, very cool. Developers note, Teachings of the Monastery blackout kicks will continue to function to activate additional gusts, but not from their cleave damage. So again, you're not getting any cleave out of this anymore. It only pulls gusts of mist from 1 target. So when you're in AoE, you're going to be getting extra healing from Ancient Teachings because your blackout kicks will be hitting multiple enemies. But when it comes to Red Crane, only the 1 target will generate gusts of mist things, but you're going to get 3 instead of 1. So very good. We'll have to see how it ends up working out in the AoE situation. Here's the last change, and I think this is actually the most important change on the whole list. Shaylin's Gift talent location has been moved up above the final gate. This is so important here. So look at this. This is amazing. Right now, the bottom of the talent tree can be a little bit frustrating because it ends up being this situation where, what is going on? Where I want to move this over. God, I fucking hate this sometimes. Sorry, guys. Very annoying. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that, but it doesn't matter. So the Shaylin's Gift was in the bottom area, okay? The last area, which means it took up 1 talent point in the bottom area. But now it doesn't. Now it's right here. So you can see I have 19 points spent. I'm going to spend my 20th point on Shaylin's Gift, and I'm going to unlock this final section. Now I have more flexibility with some of the talents that I might want to take. Okay, so let's say I go, I kind of like Jade Bond these days, to be honest, but let's say we go for Shaylin's Gift and we're going to do an AoE Shaylin's Gift and we get Rising Mist. So now I have 4 talent points left. I would normally have 3 because Shaylin's Gift is normally in the bottom row. So now I have 4 talents left. So let's go Jade Empowerment, Focus Thunder. Now I have 2 points left. Oh, I didn't get Ancient Teachings. Sorry, there's Jade Fire Teachings if I want it. I could put a point into Tea of Serenity. I could put a point into Secret Infusion if I want to. Let's say you don't want to do Focus Thunder. You could put 2 points into Secret Infusion. You could put a point in Secret Infusion and Tea. I mean, there's actually like more options. Then you could go double point into Resplendent Mists, which is going to buff the Gust of Mist healing that your Invoke, Red Crane is doing and you're doing. So like, there's so many options now, I would say, because they freed up the 1 point of putting Shaylin's Gift up above the final gate area. I think that is so cool. And I'm very interested to see like what builds Mistweaver monks could come up with. There's just way more flexibility now. In Raid, you're probably going to go with rushing Wind Kick, but maybe you don't do the Jade Fire stuff. So you could just instead go Pool of Mist into rushing Wind Kick. And you could grab something else. You could get Mending Proliferation, maybe. I don't know. The point is, there are options now, in my opinion, because they've moved Shaylin's Gift up above. Very, very important change, and I will have to see what happens with all the builds. But the bottom line is, those are the notes for Mistweaver. It's literally all good. There isn't a single bad thing in here. I think your AoE healing is going to stay basically the same, if not get better. And then your single target healing is going to get way better, as well as your single target damage, which is amazing. Like Crackling Jade Lightning and Blackout Kick are now going to do way more damage to the primary target, and they're still going to produce a similar amount of healing that they do now, if not more. So lots of buffs here for Mistweaver Monk heading into Season 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you thinking of playing Mistweaver Monk? Are you excited about this? I think these are awesome changes, and Mistweavers should be very excited for the next season. So let me know what you think. Thanks so much again for watching. Love you guys. I will see you in the next one.